Hi, it's Dee again with D Sis Photography. And if you listen to the last video on my workflow wonders on just the sidekicks for 30 minutes, I'm going to try to make this one a little bit quicker. And this is actually going over each of the workflows. And I pre-ran the clean. I'm going to pre-run them all and pause in between, so you don't have to wait for my computer to run them, because it's, like I said, very slow. So that's what took on that last one, taking it forever to run these actions. So I pre-ran all my, move that there. Okay, all my the clean set. As you can see on Workflow Wonders, if you have Photoshop, I broke them into each set: clean, rich, soft and airy, black and whites, and finishers, depending on what you want to achieve. And this was the sidekicks, all the sidekicks that I ran on there from the last video. So I mean, it looks, you could just leave it as is, completely additive with just the sidekicks alone. And then if you want to just run an action on there, you can do that. Personal preference on how you edit. You can layer and all that good stuff. So the first one I want to do is show a simple and clean. Turn it on real quick. As you can tell, it brightens it, sharpens it, and adds some contrast. It's just a simple, like I said, like I name my titles pretty common sense, so it's easy to pick which look you want to achieve, to make it easy on everyone. And I name all my layers pretty easy too. That's the sharp me layer. If it's too sharp, turn it off or turn it down. Deepen details, it's at 60. You can turn it all the way down. This is used to deepen up your image. You can play with it. That's the best part. Make sure if you have elements, you use the ungrouping action, which is free in my shop, to open up each of these workflows, because they are all in folders, to make it easy on you to, if you want to adjust the whole thing by itself, you can adjust the whole thing by itself. And if you want to go in and tweak, you can do that too by opening it up. Like I said, that's to deepen it. Lighten, same is applied to the deepening layer, so if it's too deep, you can even adjust your lightening or even go down on it if it's not, or if it's too light. So like, we'll go down even more actually. And then this is just a mid-tone boost. If it's too much boost, turn it down. And you can play with that. And this is just contrast. It's set at 60, so you can add even more if you want more contrast. Or you can turn it way down if it's too much on your image. And like I said, you could, if you leave it just as is, as it was, I've changed some things, but you can adjust the entire thing, the entire folder down, if you want just a little bit of a touch on that. Let me turn it off, and I up the deepening layer, which I think looked good on this one. So that's all you'd have to do on this one really quick. If you have a cooler image, just when I add that, I put warming without, I thought I did, maybe I didn't. I think it was a vivid color, warmed it up. Anyway, if you want a little bit more warmth on your image, and I just kind of the clean workflow, but with a warming layer, it's got a couple different warming layers. You can even add a warm haze over your image. And it's same as that, enrich and deepen. That's what that's about. This has got a warm light. Let me turn that haze off real quick. That's where a lot of your warmth is coming at, and your contrast from warm light. This just adds a little bit of that red and yellow warmth. And this is a haze if you want to put a haze on there too. And you can adjust that down. As you can tell, my computer is trying to catch up with me. There we go. And then even go adjust your whole layer down. So it's just a touch of warmth. Which that's before, and that is, there it is, after. A little bit warmer, and I adjusted down to 50%. all actions are made to easily adjust all your layers in there. Cool and cleans for those images are a little bit warmer, or if you want to go for a cooler look. And it's got the same things as the other one, but it's got a cooler, which is just a cooling layer. You turn it off and see it adds that red warmth back. And this is another cooling layer. This is the main one. It adds a bit of a contrast and a coolness. That's where the blues are coming in. And if it's too cool, let me turn that back off. If it's too cool, like the skin's starting to get too cool, I have this warm skin, and you can turn it on and it will warm it up, deepen it up a little bit warmer. If it happens to be too cold, and like I said, I always adjust the whole folder down. I usually leave them at 100%, leave them at, or I run them, don't tweak them, and then I adjust the entire folder down. That's for my workflow. The Color Pop is a color popper. Like I said, these are all clean actions, so they're simple, and all of them can contain the sharpening action, and so that way when you're run it, you're completely finished. You can hit save and have a nice sharpened image, but you can turn it off of it. Like high ISO images will bring out the grain more with this sharpening layer, so you want to turn it off or turn it down quite a bit. But this is this one, just enrich and lighten, and it's got a warm pop and a color booster. That's where all the colors come in at. Turn it off, let you see, and turn it back on. You can see. Come on, baby. Alright, then pop that color up a little bit. And there we go. Sorry. Clean matte is more of that hazier matte finish. Just the clean workflow with a little bit of matte. And clean matte would be the mattifying layer. So if it's too much, you can turn it off, or you can go in and adjust it down, or even go up if you want even more matte. Like that. You can turn it up and then go in and adjust this actual whole layer down. And then that's the great thing about these, you can stack them on top of each other. So you can have Color Pop, turn it down to 52, put your clean matte on there at 70, which adds that matte, and even I like the cool and clean layer on this one. So that's just those three workflows all working together. I mean, layer them so you can see the difference. And that was with just the sidekicks, which still look great. And that was with those three workflows working together to achieve a different look entirely. Let me delete them all, and just give me a second. I'm going to run the rich section on this. Alright, and I ran that rich section on this really quick, so I can show you what they do. Bold and rich, these are obviously more deeper than the clean actions. They're just a simple contrast boosts and stuff to do easy editing. If you want more of a rich look, you can do, we got bold and rich, it's got the sharpening, it's got a deepening layer, a boost layer, which adds a little bit more contrast and deepening. This is for lightening. If it happens to be too deep or too light, you can turn it off or adjust as needed. And lighten and deepen you'll play with to adjust to figure out on your image what works best. This is the vignette. Adds a little bit of a spotlight there, and this is sometimes when you run the rich actions, they can make the reds in the skin appear too red, so if it happens to do that on the skin tone, you can turn on the reduce red and it can help with that. Her skin looks fine with it, on or off, really, it's not a big deal on this one. Deep and rich is a lot deeper, as you can tell, and there is a layer that will tell you that it's deep in your faces, so you want to use a brush to brush it off any areas you don't want it to be. So if I get a brush, I'll do a black brush, soft white round black brush, and at 30%, oops, I'm not licking them. Select my layer mask and just brush on the skin. And I'm going to lower my opacity down because it's too deep for this particular image because all the blacks. But if you want a more deeper, richer one, you can use that one. So that was before, and that's how much of a difference it makes on the look. And when you open it, you can tell there's that deepen and lighten that will work together to figure out how much lighting you want on it. And rich and layer is where all that deep richness is coming from. This is your contrast. You can play with it. If it's too much contrast, turn it off, or lower the opacity. If you want more, kick it up a notch. This is a vignette, and you can also play with that too. Or like I do, layer or reduce the whole thing. The action I use on most of my workflow would be matte and rich. Let me turn it on. It's more of that matte look, but it's a little bit deeper and darker than the clean matte. Get your sharpen, deepen, and lighten work together like it was. There's your contrast if you want to turn it off. This adds a little bit more of another contrast layer, more of a pop. This is the vignette, and this is the mattifying layer. So this is where if you want to reduce your matte look, you can turn it off, turn it on. But like I say, I always reduce the entire opacity of my layer. I'm actually going to turn the matte up so you can see it. Come on, layer in a minute. Color rich is just the richening layer, but with a boost of color in there and some warmth. The dimensional would be like a contrast, a little bit of a contrast boost. This is where your color is at. If it's too much color, you want to go and adjust this down. It's at 60. This is enriching, it's deepening it up for you. Another contrast layer, different type. This is where there's extra warmth added in. If it's too warm, you want to turn that down. And this is a vignette. So, and then you can play with that. And you can mix and match the cleans, the rich. I mean, you can mix and match all these can be layered on top of each other pretty quickly and easily. So we'll put matte and rich and deep and rich. This will be a very deep image. We'll adjust this one down too. And let's see if we can get it to, there you go. That's pretty quick and easy, deep, rich look. That's before, and that was after, with just two of the richening layers on there. Oops. Try to delete that. Delete these, and I will run the soft and airy section on this really quick. Alright, so if your style is more soft and airy, or your location is leaning more towards a nice, softer processing style, this section is great to use. This image I really don't think works well with it. It's more of a bold, deep look, but I want to show what the actions do, and I don't feel like opening another image. So we're going to do the first one in this section is soft and colorful. It's just turn it on really quick and you'll see this is 100%. It's pretty strong. It brightens up the skin quite a bit. Lightens it up. This is the lightening layer. Obviously sharpening's there. This is where you want to add some contrast. That color tone that you're seeing is on the toning layer. The warmth, the extra warmth is on the warmth layer. Oh, off. On. And the soften, the lightness, and extra lightness is up there. Like I said, I think it's too light for her because it's bringing her skin up too much for me. So I can turn the lighten layer, or the lighten layer down, or I can just adjust the entire soft and colorful layer down a little bit, which still softens up the image compared to this, and adds some nice tones and softens it. Soft matte is just a light airy matte version. Let me open it up. It's got a lot of layers on this one. it's sharpen, this is your deepen and lighten and contrast. These are your simple things you want to adjust on most your images if you needed to. This is another contrast pop, a little bit more dimensional. This is the warm light that you're seeing. That whole warm light like layer you're seeing on here, you'll see it turned on and off. This is the cooler, so if it's not warm enough, you can turn the cooler off. If it's too warm, you can turn either the cooler up, and there you go. So you can turn the cooler up, you can play with it, or you can mix and match them. Turn the warm light down. Whatever works best for your type of image. The tone is right here. The extra soft tone on there. The color tone is there. Color boost, it adds a little bit of boost to color. You can adjust that. It's at 30%. It's not too high. This is the vignette. It's just the light vignette. This is your mattifying layer that you're seeing, and this is extra creamy, like that warm creamy tone on there. So that is soft matte at 100, and I'll adjust it down. So we'll see what works best for this image. So this is soft and colorful, and this is soft matte. Alright, soft haze is more of a light white, quick and easy, soft workflow. There's your lighten, your contrast, your warmth, and your extra haze. So if it's too hazy, turn it off. I mean, this is super easy. This one is not too much to it, but it adds that nice quick softness to your image. So that was before, and that was after. Soft vintage is going to have those purple hues and tones to give that vintage tone, and pinks, I should say. This would be the big light hazy pink tone that you're seeing over it. This is a, let me turn these all off. Alright, so this would be the deepening vintage pink is what I call it, because it's adding some also yellow in the skins and adding some pink and blues in the shadows. This is the vintage tone that you're seeing. It adds even more of that yellow in the skin, adds some more blue into the shadows, and the very light hazy look is from the vintage light pink, which you can adjust down or up. So if I leave that, just adjust that vintage light pink, soft vintage light pink layer down, and I mean that looks good just like that. It's more of a vintagey color tone look. Light warmth is just a light airy with 3 warming layers in a tone, or 2 warming layers. Actually, they're all 3 really warm layers. It's for more cooler images. So this is where your real warmth is coming from. Your warmer the tones. There's extra tones in there, which you can. Let me turn that off. The haze. It lightens it, brightens it, adds more of that warm yellow tones into it. And the haze, the overall haze is from the haze layer right here. And you can play with that down if it's too much. So that's just really quick, softens it up. Airy Nights has got more of the blue undertone into it and sort of a purple. You got your lighten, your contrast, that blue, all that color tone that you're seeing in this image is coming from the toner, and the lightness is coming from the toner. If you turn it off, there you go. So if it's too blue, you can go in and just adjust this layer down, or you can adjust the entire folder down, which is what I prefer to do. And so from here you can go and layer them together to achieve a different look. You can do soft matte, soft vintage, shoot those two look like together. That's more of a real muted vintage tone. So it's super fun just to layer them together and try out different looks and see what works best for the image and what look you're trying to achieve. And we're going to delete these, and I'm going to run the black and whites really quick on this image. Just a second. Alright, so these are the black and white actions that I've already ran on my image here. And the black and white actions, unlike the color workflows, do not contain the sharpening layer on them. So if you want sharpening, you can run it in your sidekicks, or you can run one of these color workflow actions and layer underneath the black and white action. We'll start with classic black and white, which is just a very simple conversion on black and white, and I keep all these extra things in here, like your mid-tone boost, contrast, so you can quickly adjust that onto your image. So if you want to darken your details up, you can even go in here and do that really quick, and then mask off the face if it gets too dark. And this is a deepening layer on the conversion, so you can deepen that conversion up a little bit. So you can sit there and tweak that conversion just a little bit more by going and adjusting all the extra layers in here for you. In black and white's the only one you really can't adjust the entire folder down, because when you start doing that, you lose the black and white conversion layer, which is called the conversion, so you can know exactly where the black and white is. So if you turn it off, you can have an actual just quick different conversion on your image there. Deep black and white's more of a deeper, darker black and white, and it's got extra pop layer, contrast. This is your deepening layer. This is a lightening layer to add a little bit more light into your image, and it's at 35%, so you can even go up if it's too deep for you. This is your contrast. This is actually another deepening layer to even make it more deeper and richer, and there's even an additional layer where you can go and adjust it with the paint on effect by using a soft white round brush. And right now I'm at 30% opacity, and we'll just paint this on really quick right here to show it, if it will let me. Let's see if I can do this really quickly. That's horribly done, but just to show you the effect of paint on deeper, it even deepens it up more, so you can go in and use your layer mask and deepen up certain other areas of the image if you'd like. Alright, that off. Cool adds a nice black and white with an extra cool tone on there. So if you like the cooler tone, it's at 100%, so you can play with your opacity and make it a little bit less cool. And you could just turn it off if you want, but if you like that blue look on the black and white, you can do that. Warm black and white's a lighter, just simple conversion with a couple warming layers. This one's got the hazy warm look. This is the actual warming of the overall look. And then if you like that more mattifying look, you can go in here with your brush. I'll try to paint it on her so you can really see it. And you can add that matte onto your warm black and white conversion. Alright, let's let this catch up with me. So that was just that extra mattifying layer, and I just painted it randomly and horribly done, just to show you the effect. And if I take off this conversion, this is a warm color workflow if you wanted to use it with the extra mattifying layer to play with. Old school's more of that mattifying, really deep mattifying look. There's the conversion. What's great about black and white is you can turn them on, or turn off the conversions and have a different look on the color workflow. This is the softness that you're seeing, especially on the pool, the highlights, and the extra deepening is right here, extra old. And there's an optional warm tone if you like yours to be a little bit warmer. And then the vintage has got the purples undertone on it. It's got, like I said, conversions as always, and then like I turn it off and let you see it. And that looks pretty neat, actually. That look right there. It's very contrasty. And there's the tone. Sorry. Contrast is coming from those two layers. So if you turn it off, you got this really cool tone going on your image now that you can play with on there. Oops, sorry. We'll turn all these back on so you can see them. Dimensionals, the extra contrast, that's your tone that you're seeing overall, the main purples. This is your haze. You can turn it off if you don't want it. Lightens it up a little bit. This is extra contrast that you're seeing on the image. So you can turn it down, turn it up, turn it all the way up if you want a lot of contrast. So you can play with the contrast layer. And this is your extra vintage tone that you're seeing on there also, which you see it more in the shadows, that blue color it's giving it. And then if you wanted to go all the way up, you could play with it. And play with the colors. It looks really, actually not bad pulled up. Like I said, I kind of like it on the color. And you can pull it down on that if you left it in color, or you can turn your black and white back on. And you can even, you can layer black and whites, you just have to keep one layer at 100% or you're going to lose that black and white color. So if I did that with the vintage on top of it, we'll turn the vintage layer down a little bit. That's classic black and white with the vintage black and white on top of it. Or you can do the classic with the old, and maybe turn your old down a little bit. So it's a little bit deeper and a more mattifying look without being with that nice contrast from the classic black and white on there. Alright, so that's all the workflows on the Workflow Wonders. There's also a finishing set. So if you happen to even just run like not a matte action, but you want that quick matte look, like classic black and white, let me turn off old school. Let's turn on deep black and white actually. Alright, this is deep black and white. Turn it off. Okay. With the contrast, if you want a quick matte look, you can run that quick matte. And as you see, it mattifies it. And it's at 50%, so you can have more choice to go up in it and make it more mattifying, or you can pull it back down if you just want a little bit of matte. Quick vignette. Most of them have a little bit of vignette, not too strong. Some don't have it at all, but if you want one really quick, and that would be what you'd run on it. And it's at 30%, so you can even go up a little bit on there, and it makes it more dimensional by pulling into the center focus on your image, so you can see it. If you want more of a haze, you can run quick haze. And as you can, we'll keep the vignette on actually. I say a lot, I just realized that, sorry. It is late here. So this is your deep black and white with the vignette, and we would just put the quick haze over it. It's going to lighten it up quite a bit. It's at 50%, so you have a little leeway to go down on it, or even go all the way up if you really want to lighten up whatever workflow you've got going on in your image. Come on, catch up, baby. As you can tell, that's really lightened up, and it really depends on what look you're trying to achieve, so it may be what you want. Sharpen for print is best worked, yeah, it does. Because we're at, yeah, there it is. I don't know why that's down there. It should be at the top, but I guess I messed up on that. Anyway, it's just going to tell you that it's going to sharpen it. That you'll need to, if you want to take a snapshot of it, you can, because it's going to actually flatten your entire image down and then add a sharpening layer, and I'll run it, and it's going to take a minute because of all these layers, and my computer's slow, but actually we'll do the other ones. I'm going to skip that one for a second. Actually, I'll skip the next few. We'll go to merge new layer. You can run this action. If you push play, it's going to combine all these layers that I've created into a new pixel layer. So if you continue, and it will take a minute if you've got a slow computer like mine and lots of layers to merge together. If you have like 3 layers, it's not going to take as long. I've got quite a bit on there right now because I used all those examples for you. And you'll see up here, if I turn off all layers, there's my merge layer. Turn off, I got nothing. Now I gotta remember what I had on. I know that ain't right. So if you, yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, it's a little bit different than it was what I had on. It didn't matter. That's just going to take every layer that you have on right now and merge it into a brand new layer with all those adjustments on there. So you can go and adjust that as needed. You can use it for cloning and stuff like that. Depends on what you do on your workflow. I use a blank layer, but it's made to easily, you can use it to merge together and save it, and then maybe you want to try a different look and see the difference between layering classic and black and white, or black and white and or deep black and white, and what you ran just a minute ago with the haze on. So you can even see the difference, and you can even use what you had last time and layer it on top of it and reduce it and just kind of combine those two together with a different look. Alright, revert to original. I'm not going to run it because I don't want to revert. It's going to easily quickly convert it to your original or your last saved photo. So if you had already saved it, open it up, it's going to go all the way back in your history panel to the very first thing you came in with. Move to the top if you want to quickly move, adjust a different layer. You can hit play. It's going to move whatever you have selected. If you have the entire group selected, it's going to move the entire group. If you continue, and now my classic black and white is up top. And it's the same as if you went in and ran it on a single action, hit play, hit continue, and it's going to run it to the top of my black and white here, my classic black and white. And I can change the entire look of your image on your layers, as you can see. Now, well actually, because I have those other ones underneath it, but that could change to a completely different look. I'm putting the mid-tone boost on the bottom and compared to the top, so you can play around with the adjusting of layers. Same with move to the bottom, it does the same thing. Hit play, moves it down here on the bottom, even underneath that one, my sidekick. So this is a quick flattening layer. It works great with if you want to use batch processing, which would be automate and batch, and then run flatten on all your images. You quickly flatten them. And we're going back to sharpen for print. Let's say this is my final image that I like, right? Let's turn these on. Okay, right here. If I hit play, it's going to sharpen it for high res. It's telling you it's going to flatten on there also. Hold on just a second. Alright, and this is with sharpen to print right on. It's already flattened it. This was before. It adds, we open it up, a sharpening layer and a details layer, brings out your details a little bit more. And this is made to either easily adjust the entire layer down. It depends on how your image is, how much of a sharpening effect you want on there. Or you can go and individually adjust your, pull that up. You can easily go adjust your details down. Or go all the way up and add more of the details, adjust sharpening in there. Or you can turn your sharpening down or go all the way up. Depending on, each image is obviously different on how much sharpening effect you'll need on there. So you want to, usually the best thing to do is to zoom in and at 100% and see how it is affecting your image. And I did skip these, are sharpening resize. This one's for web. If you push play, it's going to, you get to select your own dimensions. When the image size pops up, you want to adjust whatever width height you want on your image and what look you're trying to go for. And it's got 800 already selected, so you can change the height and the width to whatever your blog size or whatever you're wanting to upload it to. The resize for high res is horizontal on Facebook. These are two Facebook ones. They are made to help reduce that crunchy effect that you get on Facebook. Although Facebook is constantly changing, so it's hard to keep up, but this is for high res. This is used for the horizontal. This is a vertical image, so it's the best way for verticals to be on Facebook is as a diptych. So you want two images side by side, or you want an image and maybe a color block. So if I push play, it's going to create an action. Alright, so double click your color block, choose a different color. Or you can go to File, place an image. And then once you're finished, you want to watermark it and go File, Save As, and save your image as a JPEG. So this is what it creates for you. Actually, this is the original. It's going to create a new layer with extra side pocket, and I create a color layer, and then just put that one back on top of there. So you can adjust that around. And then you can even, you know, add a color block on there if you want, if you don't want to pick another image. Instead of doing that, you could put a block of color and write something over there. Or you can go, like it says, to go to File, Place, find another image that's a vertical, place it right here by side, and then watermark it, go to File, Save As, and save as a JPEG. Turn that off. You can go back to your original image where it should still be the same because it creates a new one for you. That is the entire, I thought this would be quicker, but I am such a blabbermouth and I apologize for that. That is the entire Workflow Wonders action set and everything that's included in there. And you can, the best thing about it is they're all easily adjustable and you can easily stack them on top of each other to get different looks on your image. So if you want, we'll just do it really quick. Cool and Clean and Matte and Rich. Let's see if these will run really fast. Alright, so that was just Cool, Clean, Matte and Rich and Quick Vignette at 100%. Let me get this bad boy to zoom in. And the only thing I would say about stacking two different color workflows is that sharpening layer you want to watch for, because you can see it makes you extra crispy. So you want to turn it off on one layers or adjust them down. So we'll play with this, pull that one down to 40% and pull this down to 70%. Come on, I want to zoom out just a bit. And we'll even go up on the vignette to 60. Alright, so that would be, let me group them together so I can actually just turn them all off together. This was my original image. This was with those sidekicks on there. And this was with the workflows together. So you go from this to this and you can transform your image and really enhance it to make it to the best of its abilities. And achieve a different look that you want. So you can play with your different styles and figure out what works best and what you really like most on your image. That is enough of me talking because this video is going to take forever to upload. Thank you guys very much.